Welcome to On the Edge with JP Devine from Central Maine Sunday. On the Edge with JP Devine audio is made possible by our subscribers like you. Thank you for listening and supporting local journalism in Central Maine. Now here's JP Devine.
A family tradition. On this Sunday morning, as we pass yet another St. Patrick's Day, I was happy to read about 73-year-old Vinnie O'Malley and his beloved old St. Dominic's Church in Portland's West End, or what used to be a church. Let's for a moment first talk about Vinnie O'Malley. The Press Herald's reporter, Ray Rothier, gave us a heartwarming story about Vinnie and the history of his Irish immigrant family, who came to Portland from Ireland in the 1920s and settled on the fringes of the Old Port and West End. The story, by the way, mentions the statue of Hollywood director John Ford, whose real name when he was growing up in Cape Elizabeth was Sean Aloysius Feeney, hardly a name to attach to Magambo. Ralph's story is touching, and it's wonderful to read. That I'm as pure Irish as a glass of Jameson comes as no surprise to my readers, and I often have written about, well, growing up in my Irish neighborhood in St. Louis, where my father's parents settled before they arrived from Ireland. Before they passed to the great green pastures, my brothers and sisters often chided me for making our old Irish neighborhood sound like a door-to-door Irish brigadoon, when it was, for them, really just very American. I must confess, I wanted to make my very American turf as Irish as John Ford's Innisfree. Well, that's what writers do. I was a grown man before I finally learned that the saloon keeper, Skeeter O'Neill's last name, a true Irish name from County Tyrone in Ireland, had no O attached. It turned out that the fireman across Soper Street attached the O to make him very Irish. Skeeter finally accepted it and repainted his window. I confess now that the truth about my Irishhood was much less Hibernian when I was growing up, and I needed it to be greener. Truth be told, we were really a melting pot. Father Winkleman at our church was a son of the famous Winkleman drugstore chain, and some gossiped that he was a secret Jew. No, not likely. Now, there was Schneider's drugstore, Volt's ice cream parlor, Werner's bakery, and Webb's bowling alley. The neighborhood was content with the Eichelbergers, Rickenbackers, the Spanish Garcias, Menendez cigar store, Klein shoes, Haig's grocery store. I was the lone Irishman. The truth is, Cornelius Corny Powers, the detective who lived next door, and the noisy Devines, they were the only real Irish on our 4-block hood. Well, it grew worse for me. After my very Irish brothers came home from the war, they married very non-Irish girls. The German Ruth Muller, the French Teresa Arsenault. My sister Rita married the German Arthur Rickenbacker. Eileen with a German Charlie Klein. My baby sister grew up and went pure Italian with a long marriage to saloon keeper Leo Picciotto. Irish or not, I fell into the soft French hands of a very French Catherine Louise Jolie. My oldest daughter, Dawn, is happily married to Rick Seeloff, a Hollywood set director, part Russian with a touch of Native American, Huron. Jelana, my youngest, tied the knot with the Pennsylvania Dutchman, Wayne Nickel, a public radio PR marketer. I suppose I could have married Mary O'Hara, but she married Jesus instead and entered the convent. So Oh, I took my heart to a French girl. It's a family tradition, is it not?
Thanks for listening to On the Edge with JP Devine. On the Edge with JP Devine audio is made possible by our subscribers like you. Thank you for supporting local journalism in Central Maine.